Hello, everybody. Namaste. This is Sandy here from the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers and Irie Bliss Wellness. And I am joined today with Anna for our midweek reset, which I am so grateful for today as I practice from home in front of my Christmas tree and continue to try to be in the spirit of Christmas as parents, as community members. I know sometimes this is a really challenging time of year, and it certainly has been a wild ride for me the last couple of weeks, but I am, alas, getting in the spirit. And what helps me get in the spirit is self-care, Anna, right? Because what do we have to do this time of year the most is de-stress, declutter, and take care of ourselves, right? So I'm laughing about a million different things right now because I've had such a crazy morning, and I'm like, thank God today is the day that we get to do yoga with Anna, because it does help so much. Oh my God. And so I just want to let everybody know a couple of quick, exciting announcements. Excuse me, I'm still struggling with this congestion. This Saturday at Irie Bliss, we are extending our hours from 12 to 8 p.m. So that you guys have all 8 hours to shop, right? Because it's like one of the last Saturdays before Christmas. And we're going to have a BYOV event. So bring your own vinyl so you can be the reverend. You can come up to the altar and you can raise the vibration for the congregation this week. And we're going to do some Christmas caroling. So bring the kids. If the weather permits, we're going to take the children out. And we're going to go sing some Christmas songs to the Weymouth Landing folks. God bless you. I hope we haven't really practiced or anything. So, listen at your own risk. But yeah, my kids are at such an awesome age, and I know yours are too, Anna, to really try to slow down and honor joy and just, bring it back to what it's supposed to be about, which is the season of giving, right? But as moms and as busy entrepreneurs, sometimes we give and we give and we give, and we have to remember to receive, right? To receive healing, to receive joy, and to breathe, right?
Absolutely.
And this is why we come together to practice. So I am going to turn it over to you, my love, because I need to stretch.
Awesome. All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Yoga with Anna, this wonderful midweek reset. They don't call me the Self Care Doula for nothing. So we're going to talk about managing stress through the holidays. Don't you find it also stressful if you have children that are coming to an age where they begin to question even more? And then they have their little friends influencing them with their questions that they bring to you, like, is Santa real? So as parents, well, at least for me, I can speak, I begin to stress out because I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I say? I mean, it's not like, I know that there's different thoughts about the beliefs in the holiday season, but I think that the bottom line is keeping the energy of the magic. And part of the magic is bringing that magic towards us to self-care so that we can provide the intuitive answers that our children are looking for. When we have our kids not always with us, they're learning things and absorbing things from different places. But I think that the bottom line is, keeping the magic through the holiday. So how do we keep our magic through the holiday? I think that sometimes, with all of the external things that are happening in life, the foundations get shook. You're dealing with crowds. If you're going shopping outside of online shopping, you're always dealing with traffic. And not to mention meeting up with family members that you may not want to meet up with. Or just having those interactions or extra interactions, can be stressful, especially if we're introverts, right? As introverts, that kind of socializing or excessive, I don't say excessive, depending on how you feel about it, can be very stressful on the body. So what begins to happen? We begin to tense up the body, we get shoulder aches, we might get a stress headache, which usually a stress headache can feel, any headache can feel awful, but you start to feel the temples throb, the top of the brows throb. So what can we do about those things and bringing in some mindful practices? So one of the first things that comes to mind is obviously using the breath, tapping into the services that People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers provides are stress relieving. Matt's breath work is stress relieving. Now, when it comes to doing these kind of practices and using these tools, we are doing the work to better ourselves going forward. We learn about these tools and how to apply them, when to apply them. So all those questions, when, how, what. So deepening the breath becomes very important. So the awareness of how you are breathing. So coming into, let's say you're about to go shopping and you're about to go into a crowd or traffic. Mentally preparing yourself for those events. Sitting for a moment just like we are now, just in stillness. Bringing our breath into a deeper absorption into our bodies of deep inhales and exhales. I have talked about box breathing, which they actually teach to the Navy SEALs, the military. So that is a really big tool to tap into when you want to calm the mind and regulate the nervous system too, is doing a count of 4, pausing for 4, exhaling for 4, and pausing for 4 at the bottom of the breath and repeating. So doing that for about 2 minutes when you're in your car, stepping into that deep breath. So what else can help? Massage can help. So as a single mom, I don't have time to go to a masseuse and get massage therapy all the time. Every now and again, I do treat myself to something like that. But if you have time after the kids have gone to sleep, there's a practice in Ayurveda called Abhyanga. Now, I've modified this Abhyanga for myself, and Abhyanga is essentially an oiling of the body and gentle massage, almost like lymphatic massage. But I find that my feet take a lot of, our feet take us everywhere. They're in constant shoes. We're walking around. I'm on my feet personally a lot. And if you are on your feet too, or even sitting, attention to your feet is very important. And I find that foot massages can be very relaxing. So, having a seat after your kids, or you have some quiet time at nighttime. And if you have stuff to do, that's okay too. Just take a few minutes to dedicate a little massage to your feet. How? So if you have an essential oil that you like, or a blend of essential oils for you, I put a little bit in my hand, I rub it to warm it up, and then I begin to massage the soles of my feet and the tops of my feet. So I think we've done that here before, where we've taken the feet into like a book. But let's say I do it sitting on the edge of my bed, where I just take my foot and I rub the oil on it. I press in the pressure point, so pressing into the heel, pressing into the center of the foot with nice firm pressure, and squeezing the outer edges of the feet is also invigorating to the feet and very relaxing. You notice that it begins to shift your breath as well. Your breath becomes slower. You're paying attention to yourself. So if you're a foot person, or even if you're not, I highly recommend an oiling of some sort. onto the feet, because that's pretty accessible. Abhyanga is a whole oiling of the body, but when we don't have time, I don't personally have time to warm up my oil all the time and sit on a towel and oil my body, which we should make time for because it's actually really good for us. But I modify it. When I don't have time, a little massage, oil massage on my feet really goes a long way. Try it and let me know in the comments if you've tried it and how it felt, if it made a difference. Another thing that we can do is, I think that we all have Spotify or Pandora or something like that. And I'm not saying that we have a half an hour to listen to music, but we are being so overstimulated right now with everything, Christmas music, loud talk, just the energy is really high and buzzing, that it can be overstimulating. So in the car, what I like to do is play mantras. If I'm going to be in the car for a little while or in traffic, I like to play a mantra, especially when I'm by myself. If you happen to have the kids in the car, that's a different. But actually, you could play it and notice what the mantra does for the kids. And what I can do is I can look for a couple of mantras, and I'll post them in the comments so that you can access them and you can tell me what you thought. So mantras are essentially a saying like, let's see, I am abundant. But usually the mantras that you find on Spotify or another kind of streaming app is usually in Sanskrit. And one of the easy, actually, mantras that I really like to do is a Kriya. And as you know, if you've hung out with me, if you've talked with me, if you've done yoga with me, I pull from a lot of resources to bring different tools into our practices. So Kriyas are a part of Kundalini practice, but they're so helpful and so useful. When I'm feeling scattered and I need to focus, and my nervous system has been very up and I'm in the sympathetic nervous system, which is when you're in that fight, flight, or freeze state, and you're trying to focus on something, but you've been so overstimulated, I like to come into the Kirtan Kriya, which is the Satanama Kriya, and it's a gentle touch of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky, and with the words Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. So there is a Kirtan Kriya song out there that you can do if you have 8 minutes. But even just sitting for a couple of minutes and even tapping the tips of the fingers together, the index, the middle, the ring, and the pinky, stimulates the nerves in the hands, and which reaches into the central nervous system. But it's Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. You say it out loud, you whisper it, you go silence, and then you bring back your voice and say it. Try it and notice what it does for you. So some of these practice may or may not resonate with you, but try it out. You won't know until you try it and find out for yourself. So I will put some of these suggestions in the comments below the video so that you guys have some resources. And then there's one more thing. One of the breaths that we can access to is bee's breath, Brahma breath, and it's essentially shutting out the overstimulation by closing off the ears and closing the eyes. You can gently place your fingers on your eyes and doing a humming sound like this. So you do that for a couple of minutes. The vibration of your voice, the sound of your voice is all internal. All external stimulation is just that outside as you close your eyes to bring the focus inward, and also close your ears so that you have almost like a speaker of your voice becomes the vibration, and the volume of the vibration, however it is that your voice is going to vibrate, really calms down the nervous system. And it's a really nice thing to do when you're feeling overstimulated. So those are 3 things I think that I've mentioned. So Kirtan Kriya, a mantra, which I will put on there, and Brahmari breath, if I'm saying it correctly. I will correct myself in the comments. Bee's breath, so it's called Bee's breath. And then, of course, there's always box breath. Remember the count of 4. As you inhale, hold, exhale, hold for a count of 4. So I've given you some resources there, and of course the oiling and the massaging of your feet. Take some time for yourself, fill your cup. If you have a moment in the bathroom, take a few deep breaths there, and just be aware. Be aware of what you're going into and prepare. Prepare yourself emotionally with your breath, and you're going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. That's the beauty of these practices. All right, so let's begin and settle in if you haven't already. To take some deep breaths in to settle into the body so we can begin to stretch. Lengthen through the crown of the head, a nice deep breath in. And long exhale out. Inhaling and exhaling. Softening the gaze or closing your eyes. Another practice that we do bring in every practice that we do here is intention. Very, very important. On a daily basis, setting your intentions, revisiting your intentions, or even through a practice, taking the time to slow down, to remind yourself of your intentions. What is your intention today? And you don't have to have an answer. Just take in that question. And if you do have an intention, inviting you to set that intention for your practice, remembering it is intention that drives our actions, and it's these intentions we carry through our practice and take with us once we leave this space or come off our mats. Nice deep breath in as we inhale. Deep breath out, exhaling. Hands come to the heart center, and let's begin. Inhale, arms come up, reach up, exhale, press everything away. Tap the fingers on the earth, inhale, arms come back up, palms touch, palms come to heart. Release the palms, hands come onto the lap, let's move the body circles. And then when you're ready, taking it in the opposite direction. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to mention, stress relief. Dancing. Dancing can be a wonderful part of stress relief, one of the things that you can do here on Soul Saturdays to stress relief. All right, so, or you can do it in the comfort of your own room by yourself, very, very loud, but I highly recommend you come here to Soul Saturday so you can move your body. All right, left palm grounds. Inhale, right palm over. Reach through the fingertips. Bring that left shoulder down. And then switch sides. Reach over with that left arm. Reach through the fingertips. And then gently Coming back to center, inhale both arms up, interlace the fingers, gently flip the palms and reach up towards the sky. A gentle wiggle of the rib cage side to side. And even taking it in a circular motion if that feels good to you. So whatever feels good, just to move side to side and feel the rib cage. Float the arms down and begin to rotate the wrists and then shake in the arms out. All right, so we'll do breath of joy today. So that's really nice, stress relieving as well. We'll do a couple of things. All right, so from here, let's gently come to our tabletop position, begin to move our hips and get a little more deeply into our bodies. So stack those shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, and begin to shift side to side. As you shift and press the hips to one side and then press through the other, you'll feel a little glute stretch. And then when you're ready, beginning to circle the hips. So, and if you're not into feet or oiling of the feet or anything like that, self-massage. Massaging your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Doesn't just have to be the feet. That's just something I like to do, but I also give myself shoulder massages, hand massages. All good. All right, and if you have somebody to do that for you, even better. All right, from here, shift the hips back, extend the arms forward. You can adjust your legs to the width of the mat to make space for your body, coming into a child's pose. Lower the head down, heart drops towards the mat, extend the arms forward. A little massage on the third eye, side to side, as you roll the head. And then extend those hips towards the heels. Feel that stretch in your back, in the back of the rib cage. Now feel that stretch in the underarms as you reach the hips back and extend the arms forward. Let's walk the hands over to the right side. Layer that left hand on top of the right. Gently grounding that left hip into the left heel. And just in that direction. And then walking to center. Gently taking the hands to the left side. Layering that right hand onto the left. And taking that right hip back. Nice deep breaths. And then walk the hands back to center, tent the fingers, reach those wrists towards the top of the mat. A gentle bow of the head. And then gently walking the hands back towards you to find your tabletop position. Okay, so I'm a little layered here today. I'm just going to take the sweater off. Cat-cow. On the in-breath, gently lower the belly down towards the earth, tilt the tail, take the gaze up to the sky. Exhale, round in, tucking the tail, chin moves towards the chest. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze up, tilt the tail. Exhale, round in. Let's continue the movement. Sinking the breath as you extend the spine, inhaling. As you exhale, rounding in. Couple more breaths here. Just feeling where you are in your body, noticing any tension, just continuing to move the body with your breath. When you're ready, come to center and shift the hips side to side. All right, so from here, let's extend the arms forward, shift the hips back. So you're in a puppy pose. Take that right arm underneath the left and drop that right shoulder down. You might feel a little tension in the back. And then gently extending that left arm forward. If you would like to open that left shoulder, you can take that left arm and place it behind you. Take a little bind. But just wherever you are, wherever you want to feel that stretch, take yourself there. Maybe it's not the arm behind your back, and that's okay. So notice how the stretch changes as you shift the hips back and maybe lean on the shoulder a little bit. As you breathe in, feel the back of the rib cage expand, or imagine the rib cage in 3D. Sides and back and front. And that's part of the stretch too. Begin to walk your left hand back to lift. Extend both arms forward. Shift the hips back. And then a nice deep breath as you take that right arm underneath the left, gently taking that left temple down and getting into the left shoulder. Evening out here, you can take that bind so that right arm comes behind you. Nice deep breaths, feeling the rib cage expand. I'm going to release that bind, extend my arm back, shift my hips back, and take a few breaths to feel my rib cage expand and help me stretch my shoulder. All right, so from here, next breath, releasing that left arm, extend forward. 10 the fingers reach those wrists forward, hips reach back. And then gently coming back to your tabletop position. All right, so let's extend that left leg long, bend the knee, flex the foot, and stack that right hip over the left. You can even take a peek back if you want to stretch, or just stay with the gaze forward. Let's square the hips and begin to rotate the hip, making circles with the knee. Taking it in the opposite direction when you're ready. And then extend that leg long, pull the navel in, toes point down, extend that left arm long. Gazing at the top of your mat, reaching in opposite directions, left arm reaching forward as the right leg reaches back. Nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, bring everything back to the mat, shift side to side. All right. Left leg extends, toes point down, bend the knee, and stack the hip. Again, you can take a peek over your shoulder or take the gaze back to the top of the mat. So it all depends on what you feel, because when you move your head and take a peek over that left shoulder, you're going to feel a stretch. And if that feels good, you can stay there. And if it doesn't, bring your head back to center. All right, so I'm stacking the hip here, and then I'm going to gently square my hips to the mat, toes point down, extending the leg, really lifting through the heart, pulling the navel in, and extending my right arm out, stretching in opposite directions. Using your breath, and then bring it back. All right, shift side to side. And from here, let's curl the toes under, walk the hands towards your knees, and sit in hero pose, stretching those feet, those hard-working feet. Shoulders back, lengthen through the crown, and take a few nice deep breaths as you bring your arms by your side. Let's inhale the arms up. Reach back, press the hips forward. My toes are still curled under, and then flip the palms, float back down. Everything floats back down. Stretching those bottoms of the feet. Inhale up again. Arms come up, hips up. Exhale, lower down. All right, so I'm going to uncurl my toes, come back to tabletop, and extend my left leg out parallel to the mat. All right, so from here, let's begin to lower the upper body towards the mat and shift those hips back. So you'll feel that right in the groin and the abductor. Nice deep breaths. Loosening up all those muscles in the thigh. That will give your hip a bit more mobility. Let's shift forward. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Bring that leg back and extend the right leg out, parallel the foot. So step it out as far as you can. Parallel the foot and then begin to lower the body and shift the hips back. So the further you extend the leg, the deeper the stretch. And the further you shift the hips, you will feel the stretch. Hold where you want to feel the stretch. And ease off if it becomes too intense. So just a gentle shift forward can ease off the stretch. And then from here, hands underneath the shoulders, bring that leg back. And let's bring our forearms down to the mat. So from here, gently lift the hands off the mat, shoulders back, and then lower. Again, lift the hands up and lower. Curl the toes under, going into a dolphin pose. Press your hips up towards the sky, shifting back and taking the gaze between the ankles. Shoulders back, heart towards the thighs. And then from here, shift forward and hands lift and lower. Lift and lower. This is on the shoulders. Lift and lower. Extend the heels back. Bring the knees back. And then extend the legs long. We're going to come into Sphinx pose. All right, so we're on our forearms, shoulders back, hands are nice and wide, gripping the mat. We're going to, on the next breath, we're going to slide the heart forward. Nice deep breath in, gaze forward. Heart moves forward, shoulders back, gazing forward. Little back strengthening. Curl the toes under, and then gently come into a low plank. And then lower. So the biggest stress reliever here is moving the body. All right, so let's shift back, bring the arms underneath the shoulders. And we'll come back down to the mat in just a minute. We're going to curl the toes under, come into a downward facing dog. Nice deep breaths. Begin to shift one heel up and the other down, walking your dog. Press the heart towards the thighs. Inhale, heels come up. Take a hover, bend the knees, hovering over your mat. Gaze between the hands, and then gently press back into your down dog. Inhale, Lift the heels, switch the gaze between the hands, and walk the feet to meet the hands. Forward fold at the top of the mat. Pull the navel in and take that fold. Take a ragdoll here. You can take a bind elbow to elbow. Take a little sway of the body or a little bounce. You can release the hands and let them dangle. Now, if your hands are touching the mat, you can step on your fingers and deepen that forward bend. So the elbows are going to come towards the shins. A nice deep breath to lengthen through the crown. And exhale, forward folding. And breathing. This is really going to release the lower back a little bit more deeply. Gentle, gentle though. Release the hands if you've taken that bind. Inhale, hands on the shins for your half lift, and then let's root to rise. Come all the way up. Palms touch, palms come to heart. Just take a moment here because we just did a lot on our mat. Palms press together. Inhale, palms rise. Look up at the palms. Let's reach back, press the hips forward. Hold here with your breath. Don't hold your breath. And on the next inhale, we're going to forward fold, exhaling as we gently come down to our forward fold. Bend one knee after the other. Maybe taking the hips down a little bit, shifting the gaze forward, and then coming back to that forward fold. Bending one knee after the other. Lowering the hips, taking the gaze forward for that little squat. And then gently coming back to your forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins for your half lift. Gently taking those shoulders back and pulling in the navel. Nice deep breath in as we exhale. Plant the palms. Step back with both feet, coming into a plank position. You can also come into modified plank. Lower all the way down and come into your cobra position. So hands underneath the shoulders. Remembering to check the alignment. If your hands are back here, it's going to feel really funky when you lift. If your hands are forward, it's also going to feel a little off. So right in the middle. So underneath the shoulder, you're going to gently take that shoulder and tap that shoulder down. And you should only be able to see your fingertips. And then the other one. Tuck the elbows close to the body. So the shoulders shift back, chin to the mat. Zip up the legs. On the next breath, press all 10 toes in and gently lift the heart, slide the heart forward. Baby Cobra, Bhujangasana. Normal breathing. Maybe pressing up again. And gently lowering all the way down. Curl the toes under. Gently lifting yourself back up. Press your hips back. And then from here, shift forward, come into plank pose. Adjust your hands. And we're going to take a little walk. We're going to gently lift one leg after the other. How is this yoga? It's just strengthening. All right, from here, tuck the elbows, come all the way down, coming back to Bhujangasana. Press all 10 toes in, pubis presses in, slide the heart forward. Tuck those elbows close, shoulders shift back. Nice deep breath in, lift a little more, and exhale, come all the way down. You should feel your heart rate now. All right, arms by your side. Take that left cheek to the mat. Take a few breaths here. And we're going to come into full locust. Chin comes to the mat. On the inhale, everything's going to lift off the mat, legs, arms, chest. All right, ready? Nice deep breath in. Everything lifts. Legs lift, arms lift, chest lifts. Reaching back, lift the heart, and then lower everything down. Take that right cheek to the mat. All right, chin back to center. Nice deep breath in. Everything lifts. Legs lift, arms lift, reach back, lift that chest. Legs lift, everything lifts and lower. All right, take that left cheek to the mat once again. Hands underneath the shoulders. Curl the toes under. Chin comes back to the mat. And then gently shift back up to your tabletop. Reposition, realign. Hips over the knees. Shoulders over the wrists. Curl the toes under. Come to your down dog. Walk your dog. Inhale that right leg high. Bend the knees, stack the hip. Extend it long, bring it all the way through. Come to a low lunge. Back foot's flat. Come to a half splits. Take the forehead towards the knee. Take a bow. So you can use your blocks here to help your body transition. Finding the right height for you to support your body. Nice deep breath in as you lengthen through the crown and then gently shift the hips back, forehead towards the knee. All right, from here, let's get into our hips. Lizard. Bring that right hand to the instep of the left, heel toe that right foot out. You can extend or get further into the hip by lengthening that back leg. And then gently getting into the stretch of the hip. So you can stay right here. If that's intense for you, then gently ease off. Otherwise, you can lean forward, even tilt the foot out on its outer edge, and you can begin to lower. Again, you can lower on blocks to ease your descent towards the mat. Nice deep breaths. One more breath in. As we exhale, gently lifting back up, heel toeing that right foot back and right hand outside of that foot. Curl the toes under of that back leg. Inhale that right arm up to the sky, taking a gentle twist. That arm can definitely go back if you would like. Pressing through the heel. If you've taken the bind, arm comes back up. Gently lower that hand down to the outside of that right foot. Back foot meets the front. Forward fold. Take it slow. If you walk the foot back, that's okay too. You don't have to go from one point A to point B. You can take quite a few steps in between. So I'm just gently easing the body before our next move. Inhale, hands on the shins. Come to your half lift. Let's root to rise. Arms parallel to the ears. Let's sit in our chair. Tuck the tail. Pull the navel in, shift the weight to the heels, ground the toes, gaze forward, and breathe. Maybe sitting a little lower. Tail likes to pop up. Tuck it back in. All right, hands come to touch and to heart. Let's take that left elbow to that right thigh and open up the arms. Bring those palms back, coming back to center, forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins. Exhale, plant the palms, step back with both feet plank. Inhale, press to down dog. Left leg lifts high. Bend the knees, stack the hip. Extend long again, toes point down, and bring it all the way through. Step forward, low lunge. Shift back to half splits. Maybe taking a bow. So foot placement, up to you. You can be on your heel or you can ground the foot. Just depends on what feels good to you and where you're finding your stretch. From here, shift forward. And then that left hand's going to come to the instep of that left foot, and then you're going to heel toe that foot out, and we're going to come into our lizard on the left side. So arms can begin underneath the shoulders, or you can begin to walk them forward to lower your body, and take the moment to get into your hip. You might be tighter on one side than the other, and that's okay. Body has two hemispheres when I'm thinking about it horizontally, or vertically, I mean. So one side is always different than the other. All right, inhale, coming back up. Heel toe that foot back to center. Curl the toes under that back foot, lift that back knee, and take our little side twist, lifting that left arm to the sky. Maybe flipping the palm, taking a little bind, a little twist. Press through the heel. Inhale, release the bind, arm comes back up, gently lowering. And then let's bring that front foot back. Come into a modified plank. Shift the hips back, extend the arms forward. And then come back to your table. Curl the toes under, shift to down dog. Heels lift high, bend the knees, switch the gaze between the hands, walk the feet to meet the hands, forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, hands on the shins, coming to your half lift, and root to rise, come all the way up. Palms touch, palms come to heart, and then second set chair. Inhale, arms come up, parallel to the ears, sit in your chair. Tuck the tail, pull the navel in, lift the heart. Sit a little lower. Hands come to touch, right elbow to left knee. Bring that left shoulder back, open up the arms. Inhale, hands come to touch, come back to center and forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, come to your half lift. Exhale, plant those palms, step back with both feet. Plank, drop the knees. And from here, let's walk our hands back towards our knees and shift the hips to one side and swing the legs around. All right, Dandasana staff pose. Flex the feet, arms by your side, And then we're going to gently press those calves into the mat, lift the heels, shoulders back, lengthen through the crown, and then lower the heels. Inhale, press the heels, flex the feet, lift through the crown, shoulders back, and lower, and then one more time. Inhale, leave those heels up, reach up by parallel to the ears, arms by your ears, and then exhale. As you nice deep breath and you exhale, reach for your feet. You can take a peace bind around your toes or the outsides of your feet. I personally like the peace toe bind. On the inhale, lengthen the crown, bend the elbows, and take a gentle bow. So this is where I'm at, but you can definitely place the hands on the shins. You can gently reach for the ankles. Wherever you are, just a gentle hinge, keeping the length in the spine. That's the most important part here. As you begin to lengthen, you'll begin to gently hinge a little bit more and release. Arms come back up. Exhale, lower. Bend the knees and windshield wiper side to side. All right, scoot your bottom forward and come to your back. Bring the knees to chest. Rock side to side. Take the knees into a circle, massage the lower back, and tuck the chin. A little tuck of the chin to bring the spine into neutral position, or keeping the neck and the spine aligned. And then a full body stretch. Legs extend, arms extend over the head. All right, so we're going to lower the arms here, come into a bridge pose. Walking the feet towards the buttocks, arms palms down, maybe grazing the tips of your fingers against your heels for alignment. On the in-breath, lift the hips, take the chest towards the chin. Do not turn your head because you could kink your neck, and that's not good. Continue to lift and press through the shins. You can take that bind underneath the body, interlacing the fingers, tucking the shoulders, and pressing the chest towards the chin. Release the bind if you've taken it, and lower the hips. Bring the knees to chest. A little tight squeeze if that feels good. And then lower the feet back down to the mat. Realign. Arms by your side. Fingertips grazing the heels. Nice deep breath in. Lift the hips up. Chest travels towards the chin. Maybe take that bind underneath the back. And gently pressing through the shins, through the feet to lift the hips and press the chest towards the chin. Release and come all the way down. Extend the feet, the knees bent, arms by your side in a half T, and windshield wiper the legs side to side. And then option here, you can take a butterfly position, or you can take the feet up to the sky, up to you, or you can lower the legs. Relax in your Shavasana, arms by your side, palms up, final resting pose. You made it. Good work. Allowing the body to relax and melt. Toes fall open. Hips feel heavy. Eyes sink into their sockets. And you can tuck the shoulders underneath the body.
allowing the chest to open a bit more, creating more space to breathe. So I invite you to stay here as long as you can, as long as you would like. I'm going to begin to transition myself to one side and gently lift and come back to seated so I can see class. So I have a couple things to read as you transition. My friend Jennifer Harris, beautiful, beautiful friend, always sends out an email called Just for Today. And I really love every day that she sends something. I thought I would read this one today. The most important spiritual growth doesn't happen when you're meditating or on a yoga mat. It happens in the midst of conflict, when you're frustrated, angry, or scared, and you're doing the same old thing, and then you suddenly realize that you have a choice to do it differently. Remembering that you cannot heal what you cannot feel. So if you're ready to come back, wiggling the toes and the fingers, and then gently bringing yourself to your side body, rolling over, gently pressing back, joining me with your hands in Anjala Mudra when you're ready. Bringing our prayer hands up to our third eye as a reminder to think kind thoughts, to our lips to speak kind words, and back down to our hearts as a reminder to live life fully with love, joy, inner strength, courage, and grace, remembering to always fill your cup first. From my heart to yours, I take a deep bow. Thank you for letting me guide your practice.